Hey, how's it going, guys? Some interesting news from the world of Mortal Kombat. You obviously know, unless you're living under a rock, we had a live action Mortal Kombat movie 2021. That movie was pretty good, actually well received. I remember that first scene with Sub-Zero fighting Scorpion. I mean, that scene alone, I think on YouTube and other different online sources has over 100 million views. I mean, I remember that introduction because that was the first scene of that movie, and it was a long time coming. Being a fan of not only the animated cartoon, the video game that we all played, the movie that was in the 90s, right? It was a long time coming, and we waited and waited and waited, and finally we got Mortal Kombat, the movie, but we got the movie we actually wanted. Because if you've played the game is badass. It was really cool to see Goro. It was really cool to see all these actors come to fruition. And that movie did incredibly well. But at the end, they gave us a teaser. And that teaser was that Johnny Cage, who's obviously a huge character, not only in the game franchise, but also in the movie franchise, the show franchise, right? Huge character in the Mortal Kombat universe. We didn't know who they actually chose to play that character. Now, there was a lot of speculation. A lot of people were putting names out there of people that they wanted to play that character. And to be honest, I honestly didn't give it a lot of thought, because if you watch that movie, these guys are kind of like middle aged. They're not older, they're not young. They look like they're in their late 30s. So this is not like an Origins Mortal Kombat movie, right? So I had no idea who they would pick to play Johnny Cage. Well, now we do. If you're a fan of The Boys, you're going to love this. Karl Urban, whatever. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but if you're a fan of The Boys, you know him. You know him very well. They've picked him to play Johnny Cage. Now, again, like I said, these guys are middle-aged, right? They're not young, they're not too old, they're somewhat in the middle. And Karl Urban, he's in his late 40s, mid 40s, I'm not really sure. But he's clearly not 20. And he's clearly not in his 30s. So it's going to be interesting to see the story they kind of tell. But I'm excited about this because I love him in The Boys. I love the way he embraced this character. And if you've watched The Boys from season 1 to current, like, you've seen his maturation and his growth from this simple nobody to this character that embodies so much, not only hate, but every once in a while compassion. I mean, he's become, like, almost outside of Homelander, he's become the biggest character in the series, right? And I mean, some can argue Huey might be also a bigger part in the show, but I mean, think about it. If you mention The Boys, everybody pictures Homelander and him. So I feel like, yes, the show picked somebody who has some gravitas, who has some presence, right? And at the same time, he has notoriety because of what he's done recently with The Boys. So to me, I'm one of those people that nowadays, I really believe casting matters, especially when you're portraying certain characters, certain beloved characters. Again, this is global. This is not just a regional type character. Most people in the world are not necessarily familiar with Homelander, even in the comics. Most people in the world, especially who play video games, especially millennials and some Gen Zs, they're familiar with Mortal Kombat. They know Johnny Cage. They love these characters. They visualize these characters into live action. They already can have an idea of, maybe this is who I would love to play. This is who I would love to see play this character. There's just one, there's just something about when you absolutely are obsessed with a particular character, whether it's a comic book or an animated movie, and then you hear they're actually going to make a live action movie, and you're like, whew, they better take this seriously. And I can tell that they went for, it's like they went for the gold. They really did. Because again, you don't really have a lot of backlash. Because oftentimes you'll hear they chose somebody to play a certain character, and you're like, there'll be a lot of back and forth, right? There'll be whether it's good or bad, right? You'll have this debate, endless debates of, yes, this is who, like imagine hearing they're recasting Iron Man. Man, I mean, that is going to create a ton of conversations, and some of it is going to be good, and some of it is going to be bad. But anyway, so this is just interesting to me. I do like him as an actor. I like his version, especially when it comes to The Boys. I love what he brings to The Boys. I love what he's become, because again, we've seen this character's maturation throughout the entire series. And I feel like he's absolutely going to embrace his character and, give it the respect that we expect from him. So anyway, that's just the news coming from Mortal Kombat. Are you a fan of Mortal Kombat? I know my family is. We played it. I don't play as much anymore, but we do. It's one of those games that when we meet up together, we play. It's just we don't even have to convince ourselves to play. Mortal Kombat and Taken, those two, we instantly play them. And then obviously moving from that to live action, and obviously the animated movies that Warner Brothers actually happens to own, and I think you can find them on Max. They're good and they're rated R. So anyway, I'm excited to see what Karl Urban or whatever. I'm excited to see what he does with this character. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you a fan of Mortal Kombat? Are you a fan of him in The Boys? Let me know what you think of this casting, and are you excited to see where they go with this? Anyway, I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.